Chapter 2 review questions, increase side. So in these questions, we're going to try to figure out which side is the increase side, the debit or the credit side, for all these different types of accounts. So the first question is, what is the increase side of accounts payable? So when we're doing journal entries, you need to know our accounting grid on the right. It's critical that you understand this. So that's why we're doing these review questions, to make sure you understand how to use the accounting grid. So what's the increase side of accounts payable? Well, first of all, you have to know what type of account is accounts payable. It's a liability. Therefore, its credit side is, therefore its increase side is the credit side. Next question, what's the increase side of accounts receivable? So what type of account is accounts receivable? It's an asset. So which side is the increase side? Debit. Again, these review questions will randomly appear on your pretest and your test, and these questions are really good flashcards that you should make to study. You will have to know these answers for these types of questions throughout all the chapters of accounting, not just chapter 2. So what's the increase side of assets? That's easy. It's a debit side. What's the increase side of capital? That's the credit side. What's the increase side of cash? So what type of account is cash? It's an asset. Therefore, its increase side is the debit side. What's the increase side of draws? Draws is also known as withdrawals. So that plus side is on the debit side. What's the increase side of expenses? Expenses has a plus sign on the same side as withdrawals. It's the debit side. What's the increase side of liabilities? It's a credit side. What's the increase side of notes payable? So we have to know what type of account is notes payable. It's a liability, therefore its plus is on the credit side. What's the increase side of notes receivable? So we have to know what type of account is notes receivable. Since it says receivable, that means it's an asset. We're going to receive something in the future. The plus side is on the debit side. What's the increase side of owner's equity? That's the credit side. What's the increase side of revenue? That's the credit side. And finally, what's the increase side of unearned revenue? So we have to know what type of account is unearned revenue. Remember, unearned revenue happens when the customer pays us early and we've not given them the product or the service yet. Therefore, we owe them something. So if we owe someone something, that is a liability, and liabilities increase on the credit side. And that's it.